Coming up today on UB Football Insider, the expectations continue to rise for the 2018 Bulls. Who are the key players who are going to make it all happen? Coach Lance Leipold and I will break down the offense and the defense. We'll spend a day in the life with one of the nation's best linebackers. And speaking of building, an update on the Fieldhouse construction. It's all just ahead as we kick off this week's UB Football Insider. Well, hi, everybody, and we get it started with Bulls head coach Lance Leipold as we continue to preview the 2018 UB Bulls football team. And last week, Lance, we talked a lot about some of the individual standout players, getting 4 of your 5 All-MAC players back. Let's look at the units a little bit that some of those players are going to be keys to it. And let's start on offense. You had an offense last year that averaged 28.5 points per game, over 430 yards per game. You took a lot of steps offensively. What worked so well last year that you feel like will continue to work in 2018?
Well, I think one of the things we tried to approach the season with it, we're going to be more aggressive. I think you look at the play of Anthony Johnson and really the whole receiving core as a whole, our ability to create some big plays is something that we had lacked in our earlier years.
The offensive unit and the wide receiver unit played a big role in that, as you mentioned. You get Anthony Johnson back. We've talked so much about his contributions, a school record, 14 touchdowns. What more is he going to be able to do? You get KJ Osborne back. You get Antonio Nunn back. And then you've got a nice core of younger wide receivers that we're going to see a little more of. You think the potential and chances there for even more big plays?
Well, I think so. I think we want to create added depth. We lost some seniors there. So, when you have an Isaiah King, Charlie Jones, Rodney Scott are 3 young players in our program, all redshirted last year, but guys that have great potential and huge upsides, and we've been able to see that this spring.
And, of course, they're going to rely on the outstanding play of the quarterback unit, Tyree Jackson, Drew Anderson, Kyle Van Trees, Dominic Johnson. What different are you asking your quarterbacks to do this year?
Well, I think just take the next step in leadership and understanding of the offense. So much has been that as we've had changes and installed and tried to find our identity, the players kind of just worried about getting their job done and doing those things. Now it's the next step in leadership, getting things lined up, seeing things. And I think Jim Zabrowski's done an outstanding job with those guys in the classroom to take the next step in their game as far as leading our offense.
And let's not forget another group of weapons that Tyree and Drew and the rest of the quarterbacks have, which is the tight end position. And we saw Tyler Mabry make some of those big plays that you talked about. He's back, and so is a nice young core of backups.
Yes, Tyler has just been a young man who's really just keeps coming in every facet of his game as a blocker, as a receiver, understands his role really well. I think we've done a nice job of how we use him and motion him. Zach LaFave's a young man who's been injured a little bit, has missed this spring, but a big, tall receiver with good speed and athleticism. Julian Barasa and is a redshirt freshman that'll get a chance to show what he can do, and then we'll have senior to be Andrew Gray to kind of help that group. And then Jake Mullinich is a young tight end as well who gets used in a lot of short yardage situations.
Every significant running back that took important carries last year returns for you this year, and that starts with your leading rusher in Emmanuel Reed. Jonathan Hawkins is back, and healthy Theo Anderson, and then even more younger guys. I know the running game was sporadic at times last year. Is consistency what you want to see out of that?
Yes, we want to continue to build some consistency, some explosiveness out of that group. And you alluded to 2 young backs. Kevin Marks, young running back who redshirted in the fall. A bigger back, has a chance to be that one-cut back that you're looking for with a little more size. And then newcomer this January, Jared Patterson, much out of the kind of a mold of Emmanuel Reed with a great make-you-miss type of running style that's really caught everyone's eyes here in the early scrimmages.
A lot of depth there and a lot of young and exciting, talented players, but of course they're going to rely on the big guys up front. It was an offensive line that was outstanding last year, only allowed 17 sacks, among the fewest in the Mid-American Conference. You bring 3 of the 5 starters back, but for the 2 positions that you need to fill, there's a lot of guys that we've seen play. That, I think, was part of what your plan was it not?
Yes, we want to continue to build that depth. I think in our first 2 seasons here, we got in situations, Paul, where as the season went down and injuries do occur, and we were just left really thin. We never were able to develop that depth, and we're trying to piece it together late in the season. I really think that kind of hurt us as we went along. Last season, we were able to play a lot of guys early in the season. Coyote Awashika, Jaquise Webb were guys that started games early and then went into backup roles. Now they'll have a chance to compete for that right tackle spot. Skylar Hartley's a young man who's really come over some injuries, worked his way into better shape, and really embraced his role. And now he's competing at the left guard spot with Paul Nosworthy, another guy who got to play a lot last year.
Well, thanks, Lance. More to come with the Bulls head coach later on in the show.
Coming up, spend a day in the life with Bulls linebacker Khalil Hodge. That's next on UB Football Insider.
Welcome back to UB Football Insider. This segment is presented by CEFQ, changing lives every day.
Welcome back to the UB Football Insider Show. My name is Paul Peck, inside of Alumni Arena. One of the key players returning for the Bulls is linebacker Khalil Hodge. Last season, second in the nation in tackles. How's he going to be even better in 2018? We spent the day in his life to find out.
Well, good morning. It's Khalil Hodge. I play linebacker here at UB, and today I'm doing a day in the life. So come on. This is all me right here. In South Lake, I like it a lot actually. It's a 2-bedroom apartment. My roommate's Paul Nosworthy, and so this kind of like just like my little space. I got little memorabilia from everything, from junior college, San Francisco City, St. Mary's, it's my high school I went to, I graduated from. Just growing up, Pop Warner jersey. And then this is De La Salle, my freshman year I went to. Let me grab my water. This is the key right here. Gotta take this wherever I go. Taking the shuttle right now, jump on that. It'll drop me off like 5 minutes from class. I like sociology though. It makes you think a lot. And I kind of like that. It's a lot different from football, so it kind of makes my brain kind of switch over a little bit.
Suspicious of this kind of cause-related marketing. And again, this is any kind of marketing campaign that's intended to raise awareness, raise money for a particular cause. So, how do they critique these campaigns? First, they announced
Right now, I'm headed to my teacher's office hours. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Pretty good.
So what is this video about?
Just like a day in the life for just going through all day.
Following you everywhere?
Yeah. Class is all done, the hard part's over. We'll get on this shuttle, get back to the crib, get something to eat, maybe take a quick little nap, and then it's go time. It's the real fun. The real fun. Yeah, it's time to get to it. 8-3 going on his back today, I promise you that. 8-3 going on his back. Setting yourself up to have the best possible practice possible. Get your body right, for real.
That's okay?
Yep, perfect.
If it's wham and you got apex backers, what do you have to do? Or straight. I think wham might be better to straight it. You with me? If it's steel, it's probably better to flop.
Are we still in?
Yeah, it's the blitz. Yeah, you run the blitz, you run the pressure. So if it's whip, it's whip. If it's steel, it's steel, right? So that means, again, now everybody needs to know everything, right? Because an outside backer can end up having the Mike Backers blitz trap. Everybody good? Okay, let's go to work. Hey, let's go to work. Let's go to work. Let's go! Right there! You big
See that? JC! Just know. I'm good. When I went in, he held me. Yo, or whatever. Facts out the freak shit. Boom, I came with the fact. Just know you have to. What you talking about? The first play? That one where Jared hit. Oh yeah. He's facts back. I came with the facts. Boom, he came inside. Boom, I'm here. Here's right here. I'm right here. But then when he say hut, I came when inside. He went two inside. So they both had, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, just know your fit. It was a foot up. Just know your fit. Yeah. Inside the slide, outside the facts. Yeah.
Knowing what you guys bring back, where does that then set the expectations?
Bowl game or bust, MAC championship or bust, like for real. That's how we're working, that's how we feel. And when we step on the field next year, you know, we're feeling like we're the big dogs. We have to go to dinner every night, basically. But since spring ball started, it's been like on practice days. Because we have APS and stuff like that, it's long days. We don't got time to go to C3 too. For like the last probably like 2-3 months, I've actually been meal prepping. So that's kind of a way for me to keep my weight down and just try to eat the right things. Like salmon and spinach, and like maybe I'll make some eggs or something like that just to fill me up, but I'm just trying to get as strong as possible.
On the other side of the country, at Test Performance, athletes here fine-tune their form to increase their upper body power.
Yeah, so this is just the computer lab right here. This is actually the athletes only computer lab. So we come in here, we have to come in 2 times a week for like 2 hours, I think. And then just basically get work done and get whatever you got, you know, whatever it is. Just you come in here. Man, it's been a long one, but I appreciate you guys following me around today. It's Khalil Hodge, UB football linebacker number 4. It's a day in the life, man. Just appreciate it. I appreciate it all.
Coming up, we'll see how the Bulls defense is shaping up for the 2018 season. UB Football Insider will be right back.
Welcome back to UB Football Insider. This segment is presented by Town BMW, the official auto partner of UB Athletics.
Welcome back to the UB Football Insider Show. I'm Paul Peck with Bulls head coach Lance Leipold. We touched on the offense earlier in the show. Now let's talk about your defense. As the season ended, they became much better at creating turnovers, takeaways, big plays, stopping the run. Just looking to roll that into 2018?
Yes, we definitely want to build on that, Paul. As we look back at the whole season, not as many tackles for losses and turnovers as we'd like. And it's been a point of emphasis since the first day out on the field that we want to be able to create more, be a little more aggressive in what we're doing.
Can you teach turnovers and takeaways, it sometimes is a luck of the draw.
Well, there is something to that, Paul, that sometimes they just come in good waves. But we're working better on stripping it, being more aggressive in things. And his first guy, going to make the tackle. The next guy's going to come away and try to make the strip. And there's some things that you can do in coaching that you see a lot being done today, and we wanted to make it a high point of emphasis.
One of the guys towards the end of the year who was really good at creating those big plays and takeaways is the guy who was good at doing almost everything all season long, and that's Khalil Hodge, your middle linebacker. 154 tackles, second in the country. We saw the feature on him a little earlier on the show. As a leader, what more do you want Khalil to try to bring to your defense this season?
Well, I think it starts off the field with, how you go about your day-to-day business and preparation, taking care of yourself, watching, whether it be diet, film watching, all those kind of things. And I think Khalil does a nice job of really working hard at that. And, and then on the field, be in command of what we're doing, whether it be calls, checks, what we expect. And I think after being with us now for a couple seasons and 2 springs already, on spring number 3, he knows how we want to play and how we want to conduct ourselves, and I think he's done a nice job getting guys to follow.
As for the linebacker core, Jordan Collier returns. He's another guy who made some big plays last year. You've got to fill the spot that was manned by Ishmael Hargrove and Jarrett Franklin, who are some of the players to look for there.
Well, that's going to be a highly competitive position as we work into fall camp in August. Tim Terry's a young man that redshirted last year out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We have another. We mentioned Jared Patterson on the offensive side. His twin brother James also came in in January. He's done an excellent job picking up the. So he was playing in the middle. We moved him to the outside. Jay Harrison's another player that's played a little bit out there. So it's going to be a highly competitive position. Matt Otwanowski's been a backup middle backer. He's also worked out there, so there's going to be a lot of players competing for time there.
Up front, you had some outstanding performances last year, including an all-MAC season from Chuck Harris. Justin Brandon returns on the defensive line. You've got some veteran guys like Miles Nicholas and Chibuzi Onwuka there, but give us a sense of what you're looking for and some of the new names to watch up front.
Well, yeah, you mentioned some guys that played whether it be a starting role or significant snaps as backups, rotating, and those guys have done a nice job this spring. But some of the other guys that are also going to need to take that next step for us. Malcolm Kuntz played as a true freshman last season. I think he's had an excellent spring. He's really taken his game to another level and will give us another pass rusher out there like we talked about, being able to put pressure on that quarterback. Ladarius Mack, came in last summer and had him at linebacker. Now we're using him a little bit more at the defensive end position, trying to utilize his athleticism and find a good role for him. And I think that's come along real nicely. Eddie Wilson is a freshman, came in from prep school, same prep school as Malcolm Kuntz, came in January. Now Eddie's a big human being. He takes up 2 gaps, maybe 3 sometimes, Paul. He's about 6'4" and about 320. And, as he continues to learn and figure things out a little bit, I think he's got a very bright future.
On the back end, nothing makes a coach happier than know that he brings 4 veteran cornerbacks, Cam Lewis and Tatum Slack and Devin Russell and Brandon Williams. That's pretty good depth with guys who have all played.
Yes, they've all played and played significant snaps in this conference. So, they're ready for the challenge. As we know, there's some outstanding receivers in our conference, and we'll go against some great ones in non-conference play. So to have that kind of experience is nice. It's also to have some good young players that will continue to develop under them. Washington redshirted last year, as Juan Keith Aiken did as well. We think they have bright futures also.
You got a little bit of guys to replace at safety, though, don't you?
Yes, and that's going to be a huge question mark right now based on a few things. Dev Lamore still has come back off the knee surgery when he came back halfway through last year. I think Tyrone Hill's had a very, very good spring for us. Got a little dinged up here towards the end, but he's played well. We've experimented a little bit with another corner on the field as well, using some of that experience from the corner position. Jeremiah Dadabo is another young man that's been in our program for a while, continues to develop. And then the newcomer that came in January is Joey Banks from the City College of San Francisco, where Khalil Hodge had played. And Joey got slowed down by an injury, but we thought he had a really good start to spring football.
Lots of young and exciting players to watch for on the Bulls defense, all part of what should be an outstanding and fun 2018 season that gets started with the home opener against Delaware State. Coach, thanks for the time.
Thank you, Paul.
Coming up, we've got a spring sports update and a look at the progress with the Murchie Family Fieldhouse construction. UB Football Insider returns in a moment.
For nearly 100 years, ECMC has brought hope and healing to Western New York. I'm living proof, and I couldn't be more grateful. Like cancer, we all hope trauma will never happen to us. But when it does, we can rely on ECMC to always be there. I hope you join me to be there for them and help them build their new state-of-the-art trauma center and emergency department. Visit supportecmctrauma.org to help learn how you can support life-saving care.
This is UB Football Insider, presented by ECMC, the difference between healthcare and true care.
Welcome back to the UB Football Insider Show. Along with football, there's a lot of other good stuff going on here on campus. Let's get a spring sports update. The conference schedule for softball is well underway, and the Bulls have already picked up key wins as they head into the final month of the season. Catch a UB softball doubleheader today as they host Bowling Green at Nan Harvey Field at 1 and 3 o'clock. Men's tennis is hitting their stride as they look to defend their Mid-American Conference title. Coming off big wins over Binghamton and Toledo, they'll face a tough test versus Western Michigan on Sunday. Make sure you get out to the Miller Tennis Center at 11 a.m. to cheer the Bulls on to victory. The strongest team on campus right now is women's tennis, as they've racked up 10 straight victories, including an undefeated conference record. In the coming weeks, they'll look to clinch the #1 seed in the MAC tournament. For their final home match of the year, it'll come on April 20th at 1 o'clock. And last but not least, work on the UB Athletics Fieldhouse has progressed well over the winter, and the site is beginning to take shape. The laying of the foundation is underway, and in the coming weeks and months, steel will arrive for the construction of the building's frame. For more information and a live look at the Fieldhouse construction, visit ubbulls.com/fieldhouse. Well, as you can see, there is a lot of high hopes and a lot of excitement around UB football. It figures to be one of the most exciting seasons this team has ever had. It all gets started on September 1st with the home opener at UB Stadium against Delaware State. On next week's show, we look back at the annual spring game. We'll see you then on the UB Football Insider Show.